If you're wondering why you see so many grips on tour and you see everybody using different grips, you need to hang out and watch this video, because in this video I'm going to show you the advantages and disadvantages of the grips you see or the grips you may have. So stay tuned. Hi, my name is Kevin Garlington from TotalTennisDomination.com, and in this video we're going to talk about grips. What are the advantages and disadvantages, and how they change the way you're either going to be playing your strategy and the different styles of play you can be using. So like I'm saying again, the reason why grips are so important, because a grip will a lot of times shape the way your player is going to play or your opponent's going to play. So it's a good idea to understand their grip and also know some of the weaknesses and advantages that your grip might have. There's three major grips that you see a lot of, and we're going to go over all three and talk about the advantages and disadvantages. The first grip you're going to probably see or know is an Eastern grip. An Eastern grip is, if I hold my racket out, I'm going to put this pad on the, if we count from the very top here, you have 1, 2, 3 of the flat parts. It's going to be on the side, okay? Making sure that this pad's here and the bottom pad is slightly under. So when we swing with the Eastern grip, an Eastern grip is great for driving through the ball. You can see this is very linear, okay? It's great for lower balls in the strike zone. Usually players that have Eastern grip type forehands are going to be a little bit more aggressive and want to move forward. Now, the disadvantage of Eastern grip forehand is that you can't develop a ton of topspin. I'm not saying that you can't hit topspin. I'm saying you can't develop a ton of topspin with the Eastern grip forehand. You're also going to see a lot of Eastern grip players want to tend to move forward. They're not going to stay back as much. The next grip we're going to talk about is the semi-Western grip. This is probably one of the most popular grips because it's the most versatile. The semi-Western grip is, if we hold it out again, we're going to go one under, so we are on the side for the Eastern. We're going to be on the bevel for the semi-Western. This puts the hand in the position where it's not fully behind the racket, but it's behind and under. Now, some of the advantages of the semi-Western grip is that the strike zone gets a little higher, where we can still cover balls a little bit lower, not as low as, let's say, the Eastern grip, where we can cover balls way down here, or make sure I'm on camera, a little bit lower. The strike zone is a little bit higher in this case. The advantages of the semi-Western grip is that since the strike zone's higher, you have the ability to hit more balls in different heights. The other advantages is that because the grip is slightly under the racket, but not fully, and behind, we can generate more spin and more topspin when we hit the ball. Some of the disadvantages of having a semi-Western grip is on the extreme sides. If you have, let's say you might be playing on a clay court, a ball might be really high. It's still a little tough hitting that ball, or if the ball's really low off of a person's slice, it'll be a lot tougher to hit with a semi-Western grip than It'll be a lot tougher to hit with an Eastern grip than a semi-Western grip. The style you're going to see with the semi-Western grip, you tend to see all kinds of styles because the grip is so versatile. You can see a person stay back on the baseline or move forward. So it's a pretty versatile grip, and it works with most styles. The final grip we're going to talk about is the Western grip. You see a Western grip on players who play on clay. Usually what you see with a Western grip is somebody who's going to stay back and rally more. They're developing more topspin. The advantages of the Western grip is that because your hand's under the racket, you can really develop a lot more topspin and action on the ball. So, and also the strike zone's higher. So if you have a surface where maybe the ball is bouncing a little higher, somewhat Western grip is going to be a little bit more of an advantage because you're going to have more leverage up here. The disadvantages, obviously, are since the extreme of the ball being low. If the ball's really low, you're going to have a little bit harder time getting under it. Now, the other thing you want to think about when you're either looking at somebody's grip or picking a grip or thinking about adjusting your grip is that each grip has a certain amount of time that you need to get the racket under the ball to be consistent. So what I mean by, if I have an Eastern grip, you can tell by my take back, it doesn't take much for my racket to drop and get under the ball. As I get to more of a semi-Western grip, you see the angle of the racket closes more, and it's going to take a little bit more time for the racket to get under the ball. And then again, if I have a full Western grip, it's going to really take more time to get to the contact. That's why you see players with more of a Western grip, they need more time, they tend to play a little bit further back. Where you see players that have maybe a semi-Western Eastern grip, they play closer to the baseline. Now, there are some what I call hybrid grips. Like Roger Federer uses something between a semi-Western and Eastern grip. You know, he has lots of topspin, but you look at his style, he tends to move forward. Some of the bigger guys like a Burdage or Del Potro, they have a very Eastern grip. And you can see how much they drive through the ball, especially Del Potro. He really drives through the ball, and his ball's a lot flatter. And it depends on the style you're going to want to play. So that's something to think about. Grips and understanding grips are very important. They're key elements of understanding what you can do and how you're going to set up your strategy. So one thing to think about if you're playing a person and you see that they have a Western grip, already I noticed because of the Western grip, they're going to have a little bit more trouble with lower balls. So I might try to slice a little bit. I might try to drive and make them pass me using their forehand because the ball's lower. You know, that's going to play a big part in how I use my strategy. So make sure you're checking that out. Now I want to ask you one simple question. Do you ever feel totally overwhelmed with all the information you could be watching, reading about hitting a forehand? You know, I think there's so much information out there, it can be mind-boggling and very overwhelming. So what I put together is something I call the 5 Forehand Improvement Fundamentals cheat sheet. And what this is a simple cheat sheet of showing you the 5 things that you should be working on your forehand to improve the most. The reason why this cheat sheet is so important for you is because it focuses you on the 5 most important things in your forehand. A lot of times if you don't know what to focus on, you're not going to get the results of having a better forehand. You don't know how to improve. You're trying this and you watch another YouTube video of that, or you're reading another book or this and this, and you're all over the place. And you look back a month from now and you haven't gotten results. That's the reason why I put together the 5 Forehand Improvement Fundamentals PDF, and it's totally free. All you need to do to get the 5 Forehand Fundamental PDF is either click this box that should be appearing right here, and if it doesn't, there'll be a link in the description. And make sure you get your copy of the 5 Forehand Improvement Fundamentals. It's a sheet or a PDF where I put together of the 5 most important things that you should be working on to improve your forehand and have the most consistent and reliable forehand in the shortest period of time. So go there and check it out. And make sure you like this video below and leave a comment for me on my blog and on YouTube. Take care and play tough.